So today, Priti Patel sneaked in her plans for helping Ukrainian refugees. She sneaked these plans into a departmental session in the House of Parliament without actually making a formal statement. So nobody was actually able to ask any questions of her, nor did she provide any real answers. Yvette Cooper, the shadow Home Secretary, was really quite forceful. She pointed out that we've had a weekend of complete confusion, a weekend where those of us who raised this issue were then told that we were promoting fake news, completely untrue. We still don't have a clear confirmation that this country is in fact going to do more than it was originally intending to do anyway. And at the moment, it looks like the Ukrainians who might be allowed to come here as refugees would anyway have been allowed to apply in the usual manner. We need to do more than that. If Boris is going to say that we are genuinely going to help, then we genuinely have to help. We genuinely have to stand shoulder to shoulder. Boris the other day went into the Ukrainian cathedral in London. I was so impressed. So Boris is making the effort. Boris is actually leading the way. Boris is showing that he has real skill as a prime minister for the first time. And he's backed up by these miserable excuses for a Home Secretary and a Foreign Secretary. So Yvette Cooper, who is spectacular, and I'm not a supporter of the Labour Party, by the way. Yvette Cooper, spectacular performance in the House of Commons today. She said that we have been in complete confusion. We still don't know what the arrangements are. Why was nothing worked out earlier, she said. How is it that the Home Secretary is so poorly prepared for something that she's been warned about for weeks? Well, she could have been saying that about the Afghan crisis a couple of months ago. The Speaker then encouraged Priti Patel to return to the House tomorrow to give a proper explanation and take proper questions. I don't understand where this bespoke humanitarian route that she talks about is actually presented. I don't understand what that is. Because so far, it looks like it's nothing new or bespoke or tailored to the crisis at all. When encouraged by people on the Labour side to waive visas, she rebukes these people, and she comes out with the most extraordinary statement. Again, patronising. Does she not know how to answer a question? Or is she committed to being patronising to everybody? Does she just look down her nose at everyone who asks her a question she doesn't like? This is not the way to do business as a minister. But it does seem to be the way that certain ministers in our government at the moment are behaving. What they don't like, they either ignore or they sneer at. So here is the sneer that she gave in response to waiving visas. She said that security and biometric checks are a fundamental part of the visa process worldwide. Well, that's clearly not true when you look at Ireland, which has waived visas. So she says that 100,000 additional refugees will be accepted from the Ukraine. Yes, but it looks as if what she's actually saying is 100,000 refugees will be accepted over a normal period. And in fact, that means nothing new. You can't say 100,000 people will be accepted without giving a time limit and without being more specific. This is just vague, woolly rubbish. Because she's been caught out, because she was unprepared, because she is as unprepared now as she was when we faced the Afghan crisis. And this is not about securing our borders. This is about basically securing her homework so she actually does the work before she stands up in Parliament, and the same could be said for Liz Truss. These people have to go because they do not know what hard work is. And they're not fully prepared to answer the difficult questions. They don't know what they're doing. And I don't want to be governed by ministers who don't know what they're doing. I think that's enough, really. I think we have to stop, otherwise I'm just going to get really angry. Anyway, look, I'd love to know what you think of actually, I don't think I would love to know what you think of Priti Patel, but there we are. If you want to tell me what you think of Priti Patel, please leave comments below. I'd love to hear from somebody who actually thinks she's doing a good job, actually. I'd love to hear the alternative view. There must be somebody in the country who thinks she's doing the right thing. I certainly don't understand what it is. Please inform me.